Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy MKS here. Back here with another video. Hope everyone's well wherever you are, and hope this uploads as well as possible. God willing and Godspeed. YouTube keeps doing this weird thing with the clock. I hope I pronounced that right. Yeah, welcome to the fourth and final part of NeuroDIVERSE Mondays. So I hope it lasts for as long as possible. This video and these videos. I often get worried that my works, if you like, will be deleted or whatever, because I like to keep them. So that's a hoarder in me and that kind of thing. But earlier on, we had a power cut where I live. And thankfully, it only lasted for. I still had my laptop on, so I was really childlike fear of the dark, if I'm honest. So it didn't freak me out too much, but because there was enough light and all that kind of thing. But yeah, it's just I have to think like I probably shouldn't think about this, but if I went to the bathroom or something like that, it was in the dark. I often like to have my phone with me because at least hopefully I'll release a bit of light if it went dark. If it does go dark, so I don't want to hate anyone or anything, but I strongly dislike the pitch black dark. But anyway, also, if heaven forbid there is a power cut, I guess the internet will probably cut out because of the modem and all that kind of thing. So I'm hoping this video will last for as long as possible. And I guess if there is a power cut, hopefully I'll have my phones. I've got two phones because I've got my old phone and my new phone. But yeah, probably should try and get to a point really. But yeah, someone asked me why have you got two phones. I think a couple of people asked me. I used to mock my mum for having more than one phone because my stepdad said that that's what drug dealer does. But anyway, here goes. These are pointers number 31 to 40, and I think what I'm going to try and do, as I normally do for part 4, generally speaking, is I'm going to talk about what I hope to achieve in the future, I think, generally speaking, and probably a recap of what I talked about in the first 3 parts. So, yeah, I'll say God willing and Godspeed. I don't know if I want to say touch wood or whatever, but I'm going to say God willing and Godspeed. This will record as well as possible and for as long as possible. And here goes, number 31. I dream ASAP I will have motivated and empowered as many neurodivergent people as possible, not just here in the UK, but all across Europe, the Americas, America itself, the US, Australasia, Africa, Asia, and basically all over the world, especially in developing nations. I'd love to fundraise for them and just generally support them. And hopefully as we become empowered, we'll be able to help other people and animals and nature and that kind of thing. And I do have my problem with that, like my hoarding. I have a dilemma because I like to write on everything. Excuse me, but then again, I don't want too many trees to be chopped down for my paperwork. So it's a bit of a dilemma, but I do like to write on all these different papers as long as they're lined and that kind of thing. Yeah, also I don't want to get in other people's way. So those are a couple of my dilemmas. But yeah, I hope to change perceptions and have empowered as many neurodivergent people as possible. And think about the theme of Mondays. I think I want to think about things that begin with M. So motivating as many neurodivergent people as possible. And hopefully we'll mentor each other and network together in business and make some money and then hopefully give it away, ideally. But it would depend on what the other members want. I do want to make a network for neurodivergent people. I probably covered it before, but anyone who's neurodiverse would be able to join that. I think I plan to get around to talking about that, but I don't know if I managed to do so because of my issues with tech issues with Facebook and YouTube and whatnot, deleting my account and all that kind of thing. So hopefully that won't happen in the future. Ideally, it would stop doing that. That would be pretty cool. The new AI system or whatever stopped flagging people's content for no reason. But moving on to 32, I'll dream, I dream that we will network together, support each other, and make our lives easier for each other, and like learn to trust each other and do what's best for each other. Because I think if people want like a short-term profit and they try and rip off other group members, as a lot of people might do, then in the long term it might make everything fall apart. But I dream that Virgin Money and founded by dyslexic Richard Branson, who's also NeuroDIVERSE, and Charles Schwab founded Schwab Corp. So I dream that they'll work together, Virgin Money and Schwab Corp, founded by two dyslexic chaps, will invest our money on our behalf and teach us to invest and budget, so we can make, invest, most importantly, and also save money. I like to put it in that order because it would be MIS, but the most important would be the middle one, investing, in my opinion. I think that's what most of the rich people do. I think middle class people sort of save money, and working class people sort of spend their money. But I think more well-off people, more wealthy people invest their money. I think it's much more fun to do it that way. Anyway, I guess. But yeah, taking risks. But I'd love to know what you think of that. But yeah, I dream that we'll learn from each other and make our lives easier and trust each other, and have some people investing on our behalf, and also teaching us how to invest, and again, budget our money, so make, invest, and save money. Again, most importantly, I think, is to invest it and get tax benefits and things like that. And talking of which, number 33, I dream that we will be free from taxes and instead give our money to charity, ideally, which I think would do a lot more good, especially if it's directed towards specific things that make the world a better place. So things like tackling poverty, supporting tech hubs for Africa, and things like that. I dream we'll do that kind of thing, instead of giving our money to the government, which can spend on wars, weapons trade, all that horrible stuff. But yeah, I think it should be directed specifically to those in need. I also dream that we won't take away other people's freedom. So I think it'd be cool if we had our own independent schools for neurodiverse people. And if we created our own forms of employment, like support each other on YouTube and TikTok and social media generally, and use that to make money. So we wouldn't have to force schools to help us. We wouldn't have to force employers to give us a chance, to give us chances, to give us opportunities and whatever. Whatever the difference is, two words I mix up, chances and opportunities. And we wouldn't have to rely on benefits, and hopefully we wouldn't break any laws. I'll say before I dream that we won't do those type of things. So yeah, I think instead of like saying to schools you have to change, I think why don't we create our own schools, which will be funded by those ideally who want to fund them, and maybe they could carry with them like tax cuts. So if people invest in those schools, in neurodiverse friendly schools, they could be exempted from tax. And I dream those with the broader shoulders, those with more money in their pockets and their bank accounts, to be able to afford it, would pay for the less well students, so less well-off students. So anyone with a neurodiverse condition all over the world would be able to attend these schools and then gear towards teaching us in the way we learn. And also, I think a lot of people say this about the academic system; it's quite broken. And I think we learn proper things like how to run a business, how to make money, how to invest, save money, and whatever, and all that sort of stuff. And I'll say, in my opinion, most importantly, to invest it. And I suppose some might say to learn to take risks, measured risks, and that kind of thing. But yeah, I think it would be cool if we learn real things and that kind of thing. And I actually think we'd be better off than people who go to mainstream schools. And then also, if we support each other on social media, subscribe to each other's channels and all that kind of thing, yeah, we wouldn't have to force schools to change. We wouldn't have to force employers to give us jobs, and we wouldn't have to force people to give us benefits or whatever. Hopefully, we can be independent of all those things by supporting each other. And a while back, I think it was this Dyslexia Foundation said, I thought you were talking about being independent, but they asked me because I said about being independent, but what I mean is, I suppose, being independent as a group, maybe depending on each other, but not forcing anyone to help us is what I really meant. So I hope that makes sense. And number 34, I'll say, I hope we'll be free from force and we won't force anyone to do anything they don't want to do. Dream that we won't join militaries, gangs, terrorism, violence, anything that's violent unless in self-defense, and or anything that's illegal. So I dream we'll do everything legally, ideally, but challenge any sort of forced conscription, and maybe work together to lobby to make it illegal to force people to go to war if they don't want to. So you won't be forced to break the law or whatever, or have to go to war. Because I suppose if they make forced conscription a thing, then I guess you'd either have to break the law or you'd have to go to these horrible wars. And also, I'd love to end forced conscription in places like North Korea, Israel, and wherever else they may. Force conscription exists as neutral as I want to be. Yeah, I dream there will be the peace we want to see, and that kind of thing. And again, support each other as a network. So I guess some people might say it's not really being independent, but everyone probably depends on someone. Businesses depend on customers, people depend on employers to give them a job. We depend on social media, even if we want to be social media influencers or whatever. What type of idiot would want to be a social media influencer? Yeah. Just in case you didn't get that joke. But yeah, on a serious note, yeah, so we'd be dependent on each other, but we would be not forcing anyone to give us help. I suppose is a better way of putting it. Like, so even if people wanted to help me, that's their choice, but I don't want to force anyone to help me. So perhaps that's a better way of putting it than being independent or whatever. I thought when I turned 40, I'd love to be more mature and also independent, but I guess probably not. I like being immature. But I mean, I don't want to force anyone to help me, so I don't want those who want to help me to help me. But that would make sense. Moving on, number 35. I dream to encourage my fellow neurodiverse people to support my and each other's goals and dreams. So I dream to sell the idea to as many neurodiverse people as possible somehow to see what we could do to benefit Italian football, soccer, whatever you call it, Celtic FC, libertarianism, tackling poverty and alleviating suffering, supporting people from former colonies, tackling poverty and alleviating suffering, and spreading peace, love, joy, hope, and happiness. So I hope to encourage my fellow neurodiverse people to help with those goals, but it would be their choice as individuals. I'm not going to be like philanthropists or whatever. And I don't want to force anyone, whether they're neurodiverse or not, to do things they don't want to do. And also, I dream to support my fellow neurodiverse people's goals and dreams and listen to their views and read from and listen to them. So they might want to see other things and do other things and achieve other things. So I don't want to be too pig-headed and arrogant or whatever, big-headed and pig-headed to listen to other people and read from them as well, what they want to see and do. Taking it literally. Number 36. There are one or two thoughts I have that I'm probably not going to share in these videos because I don't want to get cancelled or whatever. I've got honest thoughts and imaginations and ideas and whatever. But yeah, I dream that we will support, as I say, Italian football, AC Monza, Inter Milan, AC Milan, Roma, and Serie A, and the Italian league generally in footballs in Italy. And I'd love for Italy to host like dyslexic and neurodiverse World Cups, miniature World Cups, and things like that. And I hope those with neurodiversity in Italy will be welcomed through footy, and also, yes, included into society in Italy through football as a fan of Italian football as well. So combining those two things, and also Italians to invite neurodiverse people around the world to talk about what they could do specifically to benefit Italian football. So I'd love to work with Made by Dyslexia, Evangeline, and others to say what our neurodiverse strengths and creativity could do to benefit Italian football as a fan of Italian football. But also other neurodiverse groups, like what we could do to benefit them on and off the pitch. So like how we could help them to practice, have our miniature World Cups there, how we could help with our strategies and tactics and ideas and drawing up. Dyslexics are good artists, for instance, and neurodiverse people generally are good artists, including autistics, and maybe people that usually could draw up like on a pitch or an imaginary pitch or whatever, or draw up on a whiteboard or whatever. There are tactics and things like that, and also how we could help Italian football to attract investment and sponsorship, and even invest into a sponsor and even donate to it ourselves. And similar, as I say, with Celtic and all that kind of thing. Number 37, as I say, similar with Celtic, and also, as I say, many hands make light work, and I wonder if we could make life easier for ourselves and each other by working together. I wonder if business could be done easily, simply, whatever. Like keep hope alive. That sounds like heaven to me. But as I say, most of my money I would give away, as I said before. Number 38. I dream we'll have our own creative rooms, hubs, and things like what I talked about before. So it'll be interesting to see what we could produce. Number 39. I'd love to work together, as I said again. I know I said this before, but ideally we will have started to work together and continue to work together. That's an ongoing process on the movie industry, the music industry, and that kind of thing. So lyrics, scripts, storylines, obviously, well, same thing. Maybe even books, investing, business, and all sorts of things like that. Again, I'm mainly thinking of things that begin with M, like the movie industry, the music industry, and whatnot, because it is a Monday, still, just about. And because these videos are about my plans on Mondays, mostly. Yeah, it'd be interesting what we could plan and what we could achieve together and look at how to put it into action and compensate each other's weaknesses. So, like me, I'm an ideas person, but I'm not very good at putting things into action. Other people might be good at like organisation, but they are a bit too organised, so they struggle to put it into practice. Some people might be good at just jumping into things, but maybe need to sit back and not be so impulsive. So, and some might be good at maths, some might be good at tech, and whatever. So we can complement each other's weaknesses, strengths, weaknesses, whatever. Weaknesses, strengths, opportunities, and that kind of thing. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what we could achieve. And number 40 again, I had 1 or 2 ideas that I thought I'd better not share for these videos. I was thinking I could make it like 18 plus or whatever, but I thought I'll just leave it like this so more people can see it, but I'll leave some of the thoughts in my head or on paper or whatever. But yeah, I'd love to have creative rooms where we can just write whatever comes to our mind as individuals and as a group. And sometimes that might be more stuff that we want to keep to ourselves and some we might want to share with each other. I think we should try and share those ideas with each other, but I suppose it is difficult because in the past I thought, and even now sometimes, I think like because my ideas are so different, the way I think are so different, it's easier to work on my own. But I think a lot of time it is when you collaborate, you can achieve a lot more. Yeah, I love us to be able to write whatever comes to our mind, even if it's like a bit more seedy or whatever, you know what I'm saying, or whatever it might be. Whether it's about investing, business, music, movies, or whatever. And we can encourage each other like to try and sing and try and get involved in writing lyrics and scripts and whatever, and support each other in any way we can, and hopefully help each other to achieve and make the world better for each other, and maybe even for others as well, even for neurotypical people or whatever as well. And help each other to remember our general. But yeah, if we have our own creative hubs, and yeah, that was it. Sorry, with movies, I was thinking like it'd be great. I think if neurodiverse people work together and helped to put our imagination onto screen. So if we can get whatever's in our mind, whatever's in our imagination onto a screen. So I think that'd be pretty cool for neurodiverse people, especially for people generally, but especially neurodiverse people. And again, similar music, writing, ideas, whatever. So yeah, I hope we can help each other to unlock our ideas and have our own creative spaces, hubs, places, and spaces for writing and paperwork and whatnot, and also to make videos and like YouTube videos, TikTok videos, or whatever, and basically just to create things using our different ways of thinking, our different thinking styles for some great positive stuff for each other. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up and peace out.